We also have this whole issue with this trans guy who's saying that, I believe his name is Terrell. Now, he has explained that he's preferred to be called by pronouns he and him. Now, whether you agree with that or not, cool, that's your own opinion, which you are entitled to. But what you're not entitled to is delivering an opinion that can offend individuals or can offend people. So if this individual has said that he wants to be, you know, asserted with the names of he and him, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Go with that. If it, like, you respect a human being.
Because I identify as a trans man, and for me, because I'm not like fully transitioned yet, I have to like exert my masculinity in a completely different way. And for me, it's...
And then, you know, when he's trying to explain this whole situation, we have Mark in the corner who's shading, he's moving his eyes, being a bit shady, you know, being a bit weird about it, being a bit rude about it. And then, you know, and I just feel like you are a grown man. If you was a child, cool. Under 18, cool. Under 20, cool. I understand. You know, you are a young child. You don't really have the formalities and the decorum to speak to people with respect, even if you don't agree with their opinions and the way their lives are.
Within my relationship, but...
What the fuck? When I say equal, yeah, I don't mean pay for half
what?
and ever. I mean,
what the fuck? Hold on. What the fuck? What? You know, when you answer a question and then someone actually doesn't listen to the answer to the question, it really makes you think, did you actually skip your GCSE?
And this is what I mean when I feel like he's very immature. Because maturity, if somebody is living a way of life that you don't agree with, it does not give you the entitlement to be disrespectful to them. It does not give you the entitlement to be rude to them. It does not give you the entitlement to undermine them. And this is exactly what he's been doing, especially when he was trying to explain the situation, explain everything that he's going through. And I really feel sorry for him in that stance, because it can be very intimidating when you are around people who don't agree with your way of life, or don't agree with your religion, or don't agree with, you know, perhaps a certain race. So there's racism here, or, you know, we've got sexism here, we've got misogyny here, we've got so many different pathways of disrespect. And the fact that he's moving his eyes like that, like you're literally right next to him. Like, just keep your opinions and contain it within yourself. You are entitled to your opinion, but what you're not entitled to is delivering your opinions. If they are trolling, abusive, or hurtful, you know, annoying and unnecessary, you're not entitled to that. And I feel like he's very confused when it comes to this. And I feel like this episode has completely highlighted his idiocy, his immaturity, his clownery, especially for Will. I don't know what you were doing. Like, my guy really just, I don't know, he finally got the confidence to speak, and he was absolutely speaking nonsense, just sourceless nonsense crap, and calling, you know, Lani Rikishi, I feel like that in itself, at the moment of time, people can find it funny, but I feel like it was very unwarranted, uncalled for, especially the whole Dubai situation. And then he tried to backtrack. I'm just not here for that.
How many times have you been in Dubai? How many times have you been in Dubai? No, don't start that. Should we always answer that question? I said, how many times have you been in Dubai? Gymnastic show. Thank you.
Mark is forcing these interviews. She's pissed. And rightly so. Preach. Preach. Violent defamation. Why is he dancing? Why is a fool?
I don't know why this Rikishi is coming running at me here. Like, fam, relax.
But what are you?
I don't know what Arab is putting on your face. Ask a simple question. How many times have you been in Dubai? If you've been once, cool. If Uncle flew you up twice, cool.
The minute Wale said Dubai, I thought about shit. Because that's what everybody thinks about.
What?
When you go to Dubai to meet these Arab uncles, you get shitted on. So I thought, are you trying to say that I went to Dubai to get shitted on? Is that what you're saying? And I'm one of these prostitutes. Thank you very much, because I'm not.
I just want to know, in the midst of all of that, why did you even ask that question?
This is what I asked. Let's get to the crux of the issue.
You're relevant woman like me. What is you're wearing? You wear satana.
It's a lie, because I was doing all of this in front of you. Don't tell me. Let me tell you this now, I'm a big 26-year-old woman, And you guys...
Sylvia, the shade she's throwing. Like, I don't understand what the point was of having a discussion about whether somebody keeps a surname or not. Like, what a pointless discussion to have, to spend nearly 15 minutes sitting there discussing about who should take a name or not. Why even have this conversation? productivity does that give you as an individual? Where does that take you? Where does that give you as an audience? What knowledge do we get from this? Now, I know this is a show that has knowledge, controversy, and a bit of everything. It's not going to be an intellectual show. I already know that. But at the same time, at least give us topics that we would like to listen to. This is completely boring. I don't know why you did it. Hey guys, it's Murad Murali. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. If you haven't already, click that button. What are you guys waiting for? I don't understand. Subscribe to my channel. Hit me up on my Instagram, Murad_Murali as well. I'd really appreciate it. And let's get into this video. Now, I don't understand what had happened at the end with that whole Lani situation, but I'm going to put that to the side for a minute and we're going to get into the beginning of this video. I feel like Mark is trying to transition his character into somebody who is a bit more, of comedic value, and it simply is not working. And I feel like he is forcing it a lot, especially in these interviews.
Cheap meats. Like, why? Just polluting the air with nonsense.
He's trying to be funny. He's trying to adopt an entire different personality so that we as an audience can warm up to him. But I just feel like in the majority of the time he acts really frugal. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he just, like, I don't mean to be rude, but sometimes he acts so dumb. Like, how can you not even know what the word chromosome means?
But let's just make it very clear that when it comes to the chromosomes of the genders of the baby, it's human's responsibility which sex comes out. You understand?
Listen, speak English.
It's down to you guys.
We don't honor the chromosome on the chromosome.
They don't understand chromosomes. Okay.
Layman text is this.
A grown man, and when the other girl was talking about chromosomes, you were completely lost and you didn't even know what was going on. And I'm thinking, like, where is the sense in this? How can you not even know what that even means? Like, the terminology here is baffling you as a grown man. I find that very confusing. He really prides himself in tradition, in culture, patriarchy, misogyny, and how he is the man. I'm the head of the household. I'm the dominant one. And I feel like Shay was very right about him. Somebody has clearly hurt this guy a very long time ago, or throughout his lifetime. Somebody has given him a lot of pain to the point where he feels that he needs to be XYZ in the public eye to everybody else, to his friends, in that public kind of stratosphere, to present a form of a strong, dominant alpha male kind of image of him, so that we as people can be impressed by him. And I feel like we can see right through you and what exactly you're doing. And maybe it's psychology in me that likes to analyze people, but I feel like you're doing a lot to try and impress the group that you are around. You've continuously tried to do that physically or or verbally through what you're saying, and this whole notion of I'm the man, I'm the dominant one, you're taking my name, and XYZ. Like, are you living in the 1920s? Because we're in 2020 now, nearly, beloved, and what you're saying doesn't really match with the time era that we are living in. I just feel like what you're saying is era dependent, and it's not dependent on this era. It's just very confusing, it's tiring. What you've highlighted is your lack of intelligence throughout this entire episode and this season, as opposed to you showing your alpha male strength and your superiority. I just feel like the fact that you're so blind to the fact that what we can actually see of you clearly shows that you seem to not be intellectual. Or I don't like to call people dumb, but if you don't know what the word chromosome means, and if that confuses you, then beloved, you are dumb. I'm sorry, I'm just so confused by that whole, like, you are a grown man. Like, I don't understand. It just confuses me. Sylvia kept quiet in the majority of this episode, and I'm very glad that she did, because if she's not saying make it make sense or you're capping, I don't know what else she's saying. So I'm very glad that she was quiet. Wale, I feel like, or should we just call him Whale? Since he wants to call Lani Rikishi, let's just call him Whale for a quick minute. My guy Whale was talking absolute nonsense, absolute chatting air. Gogo really had to just put him in his place because he didn't know what he was talking about.
You're adding she's a single child. You're adding something to make her feel, make sure the name's more valuable.
All conversational issues are based on context. If you remove the context, the conversation doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So, what do you mean exactly? You're making my point for me. Like,
Well is somebody who does not speak in these debates. He normally is team furniture. He sits back, he doesn't do anything because he knows that he does not have the intellectual capacity, the verbiage to have proper conversations and debates. Because when he attempts to, when he tries to, and this is the first episode in the entirety of the franchise of Bkchat that Whale has actually spoken more than any other episode he has featured in. And look what he's doing.
the question says it changes everything. So normally it will be, normally everybody will agree with each other. Then now they have to add this context. Now she wants to take. Now she's thinking, I don't take the name.
The question said, because she is the only child in her
But
family.
that's an
That is
excuse.
why it's not an
Exactly.
excuse. It's not an excuse. Because
Not an excuse. Excuse not the right word, but it's like
Okay,
it's a
right,
reason.
Right. Answer me this. If it's an excuse, how is it that some men in happily working relationships are are okay with having double barrel surnames.
That's their fucking
Exactly.
problem.
The point that I'm making is, it is contextual because, like you said, that's them.
He's not making any sense of what he's saying. And Gogo was completely right. Remove the context of a situation because context is key. If you remove that context, then obviously it becomes pointless. And what Well was saying was talking about, if you were one child and everything, well, obviously if you were one child, it would be a different situation because you're changing the context. If you're changing your context, and the outcome is going to be different. And Riva says something very important as well.
Oh wait, if that single child thing wasn't there, then she wouldn't be holding on. She would take the man's thing. So now that you have to add something into it, it just shows that exactly. It shows that because normally the guy will be the guy's last
Any
name.
thought, any choice is based on a circumstance. So it's because of her circumstance that this has come. So you can't say only because you're single child, only child. That's why you want to keep your name. But that's
where she goes on to say that any choice is based on circumstance. That I feel like was definitely one of the most important sentences because it wraps up everything in a very condensed kind of notion. Any choice that you make is based on your circumstances, and Gogo added to that and said it's based on your context.
The point that I'm making is, it is contextual because, like you said, that's them.
And obviously Well was trying to continuously change his context and then at the same time try to come to an outcome that agrees with him, and then he was saying it's a level equal playing field, but at the same time he was also agreeing with Gogo even though you're trying to disagree. Like I was like, what the hell are you saying? None of what you're saying makes complete sense, and I feel like it was very illogical. And now you come on to Lani and you say, how many times did you go to Dubai? It was very shady.
I've been to Dubai to do what? When I went to Dubai, I bought the ticket myself.
Very uncalled for, and of course Lani got very upset. Now the reason why I agree with why she got upset is because it is character defamation. Don't defamate my character and say that I'm doing XYZ over in places to a whole audience of people that don't know me, because I feel like that is something that I will not run for. I'm very glad that she stood up for herself and she did all that, and she got upset and she ran at him and she was shouting and screaming because she's defending herself and said, I went to Dubai, yes, but I paid with my own money. I'm not going and going under these Arab guys and getting my face with all this on my face. I'm not doing that. I don't even know if people did all that, but that is a whole situation that we're gonna just pretend that let's move along. That's too much. And what I like about Yasmin, what I don't like about Yasmin, first and foremost, is her dress sense. I'm sorry, but what you're wearing is a complete calamity. I don't know what you're doing. What you're wearing does not correspond with sitting in the kitchen. It just confuses me. But what I love about Yasmin is that she actually tries to listen and understand these contestants.
Of all of that, why did you even ask that question?
It's disrespectful.
I can't remember why. I can't lie. I can't remember. Everyone was saying.
I just want to know.
But it has a relevancy.
What was the relevancy of it?
I feel like this Rikishi's coming running at me, Like, fam, relax. It's a simple question. I don't know how it triggered you.
People that she's with, and she actually tries to listen to Lani and says, you know what, she is trying to make some sense. We have Well and we also have Mark, the two clowns of this entire episode. The patriarchy, the misogyny literally drilled into them. They're very confused individuals who claim tradition, who claim culture. And Shay was like, has this guy ever been back to Nigeria? Like we can't speak for that. But I'm very glad that Shay, he did speak a little bit of logic, and I'm warming to him in the last couple of episodes. I feel like he definitely does talk a lot of sense, especially in his interviews, and I'm very glad that he does. I like the fact that Yasmin actually listens to people and tries to listen and not just judge or jump on the bandwagon. I thought she would, but she doesn't. Riva in the center of this, the new girls, that's how it should be, because she is the one that we have already built that bridge with as an audience, so she needs to be in that center. I'm very glad that she has returned and she stayed, because you guys know that I love Riva. I've loved her since the day she came on the damn show. Probably one of my favorite girls, because not only does she speak sense, but she commands obviously the entire place and will not allow anybody to disrespect her. It's not always about one being the dominant and one being submissive, or one being the leader, one isn't. You both can compromise, you both can be compatible, you both can work together, communicate with each other. Happiness, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriages, you cannot depend on your partner, whether it's a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, or a boyfriend. You cannot depend on the other person for your happiness. You have to be happy within yourself. Your partner has to be happy within themselves. You both need to love each other, love yourselves first, and then both of you come together with your own forms of happiness, and that's how it takes place. You cannot depend on your partner, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend or girlfriend to be happy. That in itself is insane, and it is simply illogical, and you are literally driving down a dead end. That's exactly what you are doing. And so I agree with what Shay said, love yourself. You need to love yourself as an individual. That way, when you compromise and when you need, and in order to be compatible and in order to communicate, those three forms can be far more healthier when you love yourself as an individual, when you are happy within yourself and you are not depending on happiness upon anybody else. I feel like from the girls, Riva spoke the most sense, but I'm glad that Yasmin and Lani, I kind of like Lani. The reason why she's warming to me, and I also like Yasmin, is because the reason why Lani's warming to me is because she's one of those audacious, kind of like, you know, boisterous kind of characters, filled and oozed up with personality.
A bitch, and I think what he needs is this. Balls! He needs balls! Because he's not a real man.
And it keeps the people talking. She's giving us content. She's giving us content, and I'm live for that. Especially Yasmin at the end, giving content. This is what the new, you know, contestants are bringing. The new guys as well. Especially, we need good content. Whether it be you being annoying as hell or being very smart. Either way, you're making us talk and you're giving us. So I feel like these new additions they've grown on me, and I'm here for them. It would have been nice to also have perhaps Nunu in this whole mix, because to have an episode with Nunu and Lani, you know, as well, two massive boisterous characters, it could have kept the show back at its peak. But I feel like the show is doing quite well, and hats off to Bkchat as well, especially for the punctuality. I feel like they have definitely stepped their game up, and you know, you have to be fair and also give. You know, sometimes we love to hate Bkchat, but sometimes compliment them as well. Their punctuality has been very good, and hopefully they can maintain that, and hopefully this year we can definitely get a reunion. Let me know your thoughts are on this entire review. It's been a bit long because I just had a lot to get off me, because a lot happened in this episode, so from that respect I feel like it was good. The topic, pointless. Come again with something a bit more productive. Yeah, let me know your thoughts are. Please do subscribe, click that button for daily and consistent content. Follow me on my Instagram, Murad_Morali. Please do subscribe, click that button, and head over to my Instagram. Well, I'm over you. I feel like I don't know what you're doing. You're literally adding sourcelessness. You're adding nonsense to this entire conversation. It doesn't really make any sense to me. You are an original member. You are an OG member, of course. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter, because you hardly speak, and when you do, you come out with nonsense. And Mark, I just feel like, I don't know, like I'm just appalled with you. I feel like Gogo and Shay were speaking the most sense from the guy's side as well. And Tora, I'm very glad that you stood your ground and you weren't really irritated completely with Mark, because I feel like anybody would be in that position, because it can be very intimidating. You can obviously have conversations and be a bit more respectful, I feel, even if you don't agree with people's opinions or way of lives. It's just called being mature. It's called being an adult and respecting spaces when you're having your debates. Let me know your thoughts are on this video. Please do subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.